Forgiving yourself doesn't have to be a nightmare, so listen up. We all have skeletons in our closet and regrets that we wish we could undo. We have decisions that we wish we could take back. We chose to get mad. We made a poor decision. All of us, every one of us, have a history of making mistakes. And today, it's time to discover how to forgive yourself, starting right now. Some people call it guilt while others call it shame. But whatever name you give it, Satan doesn't care as long as our self-blame pulls us down, 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 and away from God and the people around us. He says, after what you've done, God will never love you. He chides. What a hypocrite you are. He scolds us. If people knew who you really were, no one would want to be around you. And then he reminds us, if other people won't forgive you, how on earth can you forgive yourself? The harsh truth is that this liar has been feeding us a bunch of half-baked ideas, and it's time that we wake up to it. Let's look at the Apostle Peter's situation and use it as a mirror to reflect in our own lives. Remember Peter? He was the man who walked on water with Jesus. He was the first disciple to name Jesus as the Messiah, and he was chosen by Jesus to witness the transfiguration. Peter left his occupation to follow Jesus, and he was fiercely loyal to him. Imagine hearing Peter insist to Jesus, even if I have to die with you, I'll never deny you. What a warrior. What a champion for Jesus. But what did Peter do next? All four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, report that Peter denied Jesus 3 times as he watched Jesus get falsely accused, then insulted, then beaten, then crucified. All because Peter was afraid. Imagine Peter's regret, the shame, the guilt, way worse than any remorse that you and I have ever felt. What a loser. Heavy, heavy regret. Unthinkable guilt and so very unforgivable. Yet God used Peter's sorrow to draw him even closer to him. When the resurrected Jesus met with Peter, Jesus never said, "Wow, did you blow it, pal?" or "I knew I couldn't count on you," or "I want you to dwell on your failures." No, he didn't. Instead, Jesus used Peter's godly sorrow to embolden Peter and gave him a deeper conviction that led Peter to say, "I don't want to be afraid anymore." And in our case, our godly sorrow helps us to change so we can say, "I don't want to live that way anymore." What power! What strength to be able to change from being afraid to being a warrior for Jesus. And as a result of Peter accepting Jesus' forgiveness, Peter became a pillar of the Jerusalem church. And after Pentecost, Peter boldly proclaimed the gospel. He was unafraid of persecution or arrest, and Peter was an eyewitness source for the gospel of Mark and still brings strength to millions of us today, 2,000 years later, through his words in the Bible. And notice how Peter didn't say, "I can't receive your grace," or "I don't deserve it," or "Your grace isn't enough for me." Yet many of us do exactly this. As with all our failures, God used Peter's failures to turn him from Simon, a common man with a common name, into Peter, the rock. Jesus did not choose the one who is always faithful, but the one who was forgiven and accepted his forgiveness. If you've confessed your sins and failures to Jesus, it's time to choose to be like Peter. Know that Jesus has forgiven you, and it's time for you to let go of your past. After all, you can't change your past, but God can change your future if you let him forgive your past. Confess what you did to Jesus and accept his forgiveness and let it go. Never, ever forget that Satan's lying to you by telling you to never forgive yourself. He's lying because he knows that unforgiveness is a cancer, and he wants to destroy you with it. He's also lying that every time he brings up your past because he is intimidated by your future. Your future is a glorious one, filled with joy, peace, and smiles when you accept God's forgiveness. Let the heaviness go away. Now, before this video ends, please choose from one of these 2 recommended videos so that you can learn more and discover the joy of forgiveness that God has in store for you.